We have had a lot of requests coming in from the student community, budding CFA charter holders, CFA candidates, as well as other finance professionals on how to make a career in the exciting world of fixed income. And I'm really delighted to welcome Shreenivas Kunte for this talk. I have personally not met a person who's more keen to help fellow professionals and students in matters relating to career or otherwise. Shreenivas is Director of Content at CFA Institute. He was the country trading strategist for Citi Japan. He has also taught at and managed SP Jain's Trade and Applied Research Lab, which he helped found. Welcome, Srinivas. Over to you. Please start your session the moment you see your video going live.
As careers as something like going to office 9 to 5 and happiness is separate. Coming to your house or going for a trip and so on. But no, probably happiness and careers are interlinked. And I draw your attention to a famous equation from Nobel laureate Kahneman. So what Kahneman used to like and used to say is that success is equal to talent plus luck, a little bit of luck. And talent comes, of course, with hard luck. His main point was, if you want to be really successful, then the talent part remains more or less the same. It is the luck part that plays the big role. And with a little bit of luck, you are going to be very successful. But on the downside, it works the reverse way. If you just aim at success, if you just aim at talent, there is always the chance that you might fail. And then you might lose the happiness. So friends, I wanted to think about careers as happiness. And this is not that I'm saying this. Raghuram Rajan gave this speech in NIBM in 2016. All of us are ambitious, of course. All of us want to be successful. Some of us want to be fund managers, some want to be analysts, some want to be CIOs, and so on and so forth. But what many of us try to say and try to think is that I want to be something. I talk with so many people, so many charter holders, budding aspirants, in the CFA program. All of them want to be something. But I have not seen people saying, I really like doing this. What Rajan is saying is that we take our causality backwards. We want to be something, and then we say that we like to be doing what we want to be. So we don't say that, oh, I like talking to people. So, I could be a salesperson. I'm good with numbers. I could be an analyst. So friends, if you can think, and at all times in your career, in our careers, even if we are very senior, mid and junior and just starting, can we ask these three questions? What do I like to do? What do I really like to do? What do I enjoy doing, right? That is question number one. What am I good at? I might like to paint, but I'm, no good in a class of 40 or in a class of 100. And lastly, does anybody need what I like to do and what I am good at? So those three questions will give us the entry point into what we can call as a career. And the career path keeps on changing. Now we come to, the world of fixed income. And I talked with, Mr. Mahendra Jaju yesterday. So he was saying that, it doesn't really matter. I don't know how many of you know who is Mr. Jaju. Most of you may be knowing, but those who are just entering into the field, they may not be knowing. He's a CIO with Mirai Asset. He also have put in a webinar just a few months back. But he was telling me that, look, Srinivas, when you enter into a particular field, whether it be equities or fixed income or any other field in financial services, the broad array of talents and competencies are the same. And once we start going into a particular field, we start to specialize. So having done your broad-based thinking of what is, one has to look at what is the opportunity size and opportunity set that we have got. And this is where I've seen many people get it really wrong. Within fixed income, if you can see in the screen, there are at least 10 different buckets and areas where aspirant can go and choose where he or she wants to be. Most of us really want to go on the sell side and the mutual fund side because it's glamorous to be there. It's glamorous to be a CIO. It's glamorous to be a fund manager or be on the sell side, travel around the world or in India and so on, right? But these two boxes, they are gray. There's not a lot of demand over there. People want to. Somebody was telling me that for an analyst role there are more than 50 applications. Do you want to go and be the 51st applicant in the role? Probably not. People are missing out on the areas where there is demand. And where is the demand happening right now? There are NBFCs and banks and fintech companies where there's a lot of demand on the fixed income side. There are the centers of excellence, what we call as people used to call it as a back office operations in India for major Wall Street banks, but it's no more the back office operations. It is actually the front office because many of the people in India are in key investment roles. One of our colleagues, Mohan Prabhu, I don't know if he's listening to this talk, but he's posted a bunch of jobs on our careers portal. I don't know how many of you have taken a look at the careers portal. We have got a CFA Society India careers portal focused on India jobs. And there's a bunch of jobs that Mohan's company Aeon has posted in this particular bracket, which is the Center of Excellence. I know that there are lots of jobs coming up in the fintech and NBFC space. There are some charter holders, at least two of them, who have become really successful. There is Shalabh Singhal, and there is of course Lizzie Chapman, who've created peer-to-peer lending and SME lending, pure fintech, AI/ML driven companies. And there are the rating agencies, which keep on hiring the CRISILs, the ICRAs, the CARES of the world. Now, apart from all of these, right, the boxes over here, this is where there is a trickle in demand where people can think about going and branching out. All they have to do is network with fellow charter holders, talk with people, find out who's there in each of the boxes, who can guide them and who can tell them more about that particular field. I know that in investment banking there is Jain Shah. He's given us a talk some time back, and he gave a very, very nice talk on careers in this particular area, specifically investment banking. I know that Jaina does a lot of corporate treasury. She used to be Jaina Gandhi. She used to be managing the treasury for NSC. And so on and so forth. So do talk and reach out to people. And across all these boxes, what you've got is there are these roles, right? You could be at a very junior level, you could be a dealer, you could be an advisor, a credit analyst, economist, fund manager, and CIO. Notice that there are not many roles, right? There are not many roles. The gist of the roles probably may be more or less the same. It is the depth and the width that varies as you go across roles. Also note one thing that these gray areas where not a lot of demand is happening in terms of job hiring. What does happen in the financial services space is that there could be a lot of operating leverage. So you might have to wait forever to get into a mutual fund space or a sell side space. Sell side may be faster than the mutual fund space, but you may have to wait a while before you can get in. Let me go to the next slide quickly. So what does a potential career graph look like? You start at a very junior level, you start as an associate, and then you move up, you can become a senior associate or an analyst, and you can become a lead analyst covering a particular sector. And there could be different designations within a rating agency. With a sell side, it could be again a different designation. You could be a market strategist and then finally become a head of research. But parallelly, many people actually also on the buy side particularly, what they do is they take somebody who's a really accomplished analyst and they try to groom this person, or they take this person on board and groom her into a fund manager, and fund managers in turn become CIOs. I know that Navneet is very famous for building teams bottom up, and there are other companies also which hire interns, and people are groomed from inside the box into being analysts as well as fund managers and CIOs. So typically look at a 15-year to 20-year career graph, and in that career graph you can move from one box to another box to achieve your career goals. Moving on to the next slide. See, we talked about the opportunity space. Before that, we talked about happiness in careers. Now, when you choose a careers, do look at the basic supply and demand. Go to places having decided what your happiness is and what your skills are. Go to places where there is demand so that you get more sustainability to your careers. But once you are in your career, what do? You have to be, all of us have to be always on the move. We have to be always talking about things, doing things, writing blogs, listening to conferences such as these, and CFA Institute, the portal. You'll find a lot of material on YouTube. There's loads of videos on what can be done and what cannot be done in terms of specific sectors. What we miss out in India really big time, and this is my personal pain point. Most of us do not like to write. I don't know for whatever reason. Even the senior most people, they just don't like to write. Why don't we write a blog? We can write a blog and publish, have our own blog site, and slowly show it whenever we are going to our interview and create a portfolio out of it. At a senior level, a series of 10-15 blogs could make a book. And if you can become more ambitious, you could actually attempt the FAJ. I don't know how many of you have actually read the latest copy of the Financial Analyst Journal. When I was in Japan, before you went to a job interview, you would always take the last copy of the Financial Analyst Journal and try to get a sense of what is happening before you go to an interview. So I don't see that culture coming up in India. Not just the culture of reading, but the culture of writing. It's my aspiration to see if I can work with members and to see if they can actually write, at least attempt to write in the Financial Analyst Journal. And last but not least, it's the networking and mentoring. We've got so many brilliant people all around India who can help us, in doing what we do. Talk with any one of them, and since you're a charter holder or a budding charter holder, people may give you the audience. So do think of that. See, all of these goes into what I call as the career alchemy, and we'll have to keep on doing it whether we are juniors, mid, or seniors. Take a look at our competency framework, which is there on the CFA Institute website. There's a lot of information on that website. All you have to do is interactive.competencyframework.cfainstitute.org, or just Google for competency framework CFA Institute. You'll get this particular framework. On the y-axis, you got the different competencies. I can't show it to you. It's too many. Like there are something like 37, 38 competencies. Try to find out, are you really competent in any of this single box? It's a matrix of over 700 boxes. On the x-axis, you've got the roles, and on the y-axis, you've got the competencies. You can click any one of these boxes and try to see in any particular cell, do you like being in that cell? Are you competent in that cell? Is this something that the world wants? You can always evaluate yourself, self-evaluate yourself before you go for a job interview. Let me give you a quick checklist before I wrap up. It's a difficult time. COVID has been especially really bad, and it has got its plus sides. And I have had first of all, I've been lucky to not have gotten COVID. I hope you and your families are safe and your friends are safe. But on the plus side also, I could spend a lot of time with my own family, and I could also do a lot of reading. I could take a lot of courses on Coursera. So try not to waste your time, whatever level you are at. If you're senior, junior, mid, it doesn't really matter. If you're junior, if you're not having a job, go for a free internship. That's what Amit Joshi says. Amit Joshi is the CIO of Bajaj Alliance. He says, don't just wait and sit on your hands. Go and do something. Go and write a blog post. Go and write a model, of what is happening in the market. Do in-depth case studies. And there are so many courses. I don't see people picking up on data science. CFA Institute is going to launch a couple of data science courses soon, but don't wait for us to launch the course. Go and find out, talk to people, and take courses on Coursera or any other system that you like. And those who are really senior, I would urge all of them to, think of writing a book. I'm looking forward for a charter holder to write a book and reading that book. Just to summarize, we have to always go and get our experience, be competent, build our reputation through writing and talking with people and networking, and use all of that to think sensibly, to find out where our happiness is. And once we find where our happiness is, use basic macroeconomics to find supply demand and find a specific area that you want to get into and go and build your career. That's it from me. Thank you so much.